Infamous in here right out of the gates, brother. How you doing? I love it. Good to see you on here. Wait for some guys to join in. Hey man, what's up? Shifted Productions. I don't know if I remember your name before, but welcome to the chat, man. If you're new to the channel, good to have you. I was a tall kid from the call. Oh, cool, dude. Nice to see you. Awesome. Glad you could make it. It was great getting to talk to you. The call out was a blast for me. I had just an insane. Sean, that'd be a typo. I had an absolutely just blast of a time at the call out and drag racing, getting to talk to some of you that were able to come out to it. Sean, good to have you. 6-0 roll call. Welcome to the live feed here. Good to have everybody coming in. We had a very exciting weekend. For those of you that don't follow me on Instagram, some of you, I know some of you guys do already. I dipped into the 13s with the truck down the quarter mile. It was an absolute blast. So that's probably the big news for the weekend. For Diesel, welcome. Good to have you. Sean, come back if you can, brother. Take care, man. Thanks for stopping in. Infamous. I did pull a good one on him. Sorry, let's get my phone volume down so that's not a distraction here during the feed. And Jordan did get some video for me. We got to work on our video skills, but Jordan, my twin sister, came out. We had an awesome time. The first time she got to see me race, obviously, because I've only done it twice. So it was cool having my sister there in the stadium cheering me on. Wagner, I met you down there. That was great. He got some awesome video of me racing down the track. So he sent it to me in an email, and we're going to be including that in my video. So, and I'm going to put links to his Instagram and stuff because that was awesome. I didn't get to talk to him for long, but I did. I think he caught me, if I remember right before I was about to go tech in. Am I right with that, man? That you caught me right before tech? Which took forever. What tune should I got? That's awesome. Awesome, dude. If you have videos of me at the track or anything, send them to 6.0, put an H. So 6.0 H bros at Gmail. Here, I'll put it in the chat. If I can type tonight. Send them out to me. Lucas, I'm going to get to you in just a second. I want to head back up to Infamous. Hopefully you're still in here, brother. And yeah, it's crazy how much faster the truck is. And the Duramax owner, buy him a powerstroke. Oh, man, I am freaking stuck at typing today. Greg A's truck did break. That sucked. I was really looking forward to him. I actually wanted to race him. Obviously, his truck is significantly faster than mine. It's not even close. I think he has like 3.3 seconds on me. So, I mean, it would be no contest for him, but it would be cool to line up against a truck like that that's able to do what his truck is able to. And, we just had such a fun time. The Duramax I raced, Truck Guy Joe is one of the nicest, most helpful people at the track. His reaction times are spot on. Like he literally, I think almost every time his reaction time was like 0.1 something. He's very good at the line. And he took me almost every time. The last race we did was hard to tell. We were both neck and neck for our reaction time, but he gave me a lot of coaching. I left pretty hard. I probably left close to, it's hard to see the tree and my RPMs, but I think I left somewhere around I want to say 23, 2,500 RPM. Like I launched pretty hard and the truck took it, got a 1.9 60 foot I think 9.99, I should say, and ran a 13.627 at 98 miles an hour. I mean, it was a blast. And again, huge shout out to Truck Guy Joe for his help. DNA Automotive, Diesel and Automotive in Brownstown, Greg, he was giving me pointers. We were texting back and forth about some of my runs and stuff. So it was definitely cool to have that support behind me. And again, my sister coming out, hanging out with me, and getting a bunch of shots for me and filming. So it was absolutely just a blast. Truck Guy Joe, again, super nice guy. His Cyclone was running like 13.6, I think was its fast time. I forget the fastest, but his Cyclone was moving. Cool truck, super clean. I think it's a 91. It was cool. It was definitely a blast being out there. And Truck Guy Joe, again, just super helpful and fun to be at the track with. That man does not hold back. He runs everything. I think we started our drag racing at, I forget the exact time, but we came out and ran 3 back-to-back passes. Just ran back in line, ran back in line, ran back in line. So we were not easy on our trucks this weekend. And the truck took it fine. His Cyclone took it fine. Then we took a little bit of a break and 14.449. Yeah, I knew I was up there the first one, which was cool for me, though, because even my slowest pass this round was faster than any of my other passes from the last time I did. Everything I did, my slowest run this time was better than my best runs at the last one. So I was super happy about that. Yeah, the last one was the big one where we ran a 13. And Joe really, we probably had like a 5-10 minute long pep talk about launching and what to do and how much boost to build and how to stage the truck. And I don't want to say I have it down, but I'm starting to get it. I'm starting to understand what I need to do at the line. And that is a big part. That boost in these trucks, or that launch, is so much in these trucks, because the rest of it, you're really just, you did tell me I was going to get it. I was hopeful. I knew the truck was capable. I was worried about my ability and how much I'd be able to improve from the last time. I'm a very novice drag racer, obviously. I am not good at it. But I do feel like with another 7 passes under my belt, I finally started getting the hang of it. You did miss it, brother. I was hopeful you were going to show up, but I figured you were busy. But I was hoping you'd cruise up, dude. We had a blast. Truck Guy Joe was there again. The truck ran a 13, finally. 13.627 at 98 miles an hour. And there was just an awesome turnout. It was cool to see everyone. Yeah, Infamous, he wasn't able to come. His truck is sweet, though. I do love his truck. Faster than me. I did have to put injectors in it, though, brother. It's got 175 stocks, to which I was trying to do like the calculators online. You know, you do a dyno, everybody turns around and says, well, you have track times to back it up. So I was using some of the track calculators to estimate roughly where the horsepower for the truck is, and it should be right about the mid 500 mark. Guessing on my weight, I don't have an exact weight to punch in, but I've been shooting between like as low as 7,300 pounds and as high as 7,600. I think that is about where I fall in for weight. So, Powerstroke Luke, welcome to the chat, man. Good to have you. I didn't check your video out yet, but I will. I will check that out tonight before I go to bed here. So yeah, the truck should be about mid 500s for horsepower. So I am planning a dyno event. Oof. For diesel, I hope the rest of the truck is all right, man. Mike, good to hear that, man. Mike, when you're ready, man, hit me up. We gotta hang out sometime, catch up, do a couple of goofy pulls on the highway or something. Jordan, what are you racing me in, Jordan? For those of you that don't know, Jordan in the comments is my twin sister, who's literally right above me, commenting on my video. Oh, Lucas, I'm sorry, dude. I forgot to get back to you. So I'm running Kill Devil Diesel's push rods. I'm running Kill Devil Diesel's push rods. They are the 6'4" length, and they're obviously the upgraded material. I forget if it's like a chromoly kind of thing, but it's definitely that is what I'm running. I think they were $250 from him. Definitely, I don't know what his shipping is, if there was any cost associated, but I believe it was $250. Not a problem, man. Uh-oh, what's wrong with your truck, dude? I'm gonna say, if you need a hand, I'll happily give you a hand getting it back up and running. I won't even charge you my normal 6-pack of Miller for it, since I know you can't have Miller yet. But if it's something I can help you fix, dude, I'll cruise down and give you a hand, get it back up and running for you, or with you. Oh, that's right. Your computer. Okay, I thought it was the truck. I was like, hit me up. I'll come down. Oh, that's salty too. The old MacBooks. They are not cheap. I've looked at them for editing, but I couldn't pull the trigger. I'm with you there. I'm more of a PC guy. I hear good things about Macs for editing stuff, but I just run the computer I actually edit on is what do I have here? An i5 PC from Dell, and it does a pretty awesome job. I'm pretty happy with it. I'm sure it could be better. There's newer stuff out since this, but it's doing the job. I feel like I missed a question or something here. Guess not. Yeah, I'm going through the engine now, waiting on parts. Lucas's garage, are you putting a cam in your truck? Are you doing Greg A was there. Diablo Formula Racing, though he didn't race his car at all. Send It Steve was there, though his car broke first pass. Mike was there. There's that other guy Mike hangs out with that has an orange McLaren. He was there. John Dock was there, of course. John Dock, I didn't really get to talk to him much, but I did see him a couple times and talk to him a little bit. He's such a nice guy. And he's hysterical, the back and forth between Steve, Greg A, and him going back and forth. It was pretty funny. So it was cool to see all those guys there and interact a little bit with them. But I was doing so much racing that I really didn't get a chance to sit down and talk or even walk around and talk a lot. So I missed out there. It's hard to go back and forth between getting to talk to people and what I really went there for was the racing. Obviously, I do love seeing you guys. So if you guys ever see me at events, stop me and talk to me, because seriously, I will talk. There was one guy I think I talked to, him and his son, for like 45 minutes. Like, it doesn't bug me. I love getting to meet you guys and talk to you. This channel doesn't exist without you guys. So if you see me at events, just come up and ask me if I have a minute, and I'll definitely talk. I will not ignore anyone. You know, you guys make this channel happen. John, what's up, brother? Always up too late. Everybody, John has some bad news. Well, Always Up Too Late has some bad news. So after this live feed, go over to his channel and check out his video. Very tragic. I'm upset, but fortunately, I'm glad everyone's okay, John. Truly. Infamous, by the way, I'm sorry, I almost ignored your question there accidentally. I launched my slower passes were about 1,800 RPM. And then I slowly started creeping up, and I finally think that last pass, I think I launched about 2,400-ish. Excuse me, I'm not quite sure because I wasn't able to see the gauge and go back and forth. But I think I was around 2,400 RPM when I launched. Some of my faster, but still more in the low to mid 14s were probably around 2,200 RPM. The truck hooked awesome that last one. I mean, I had a 0.1 something reaction time. I hit a 1.960 foot, which is 0.6 of a second faster than anything I've ever done, or than my last time at the drag strip. So my big goal was to just improve this time around, just do better than last time, which the first pass out I did. So I was pretty happy there. And the first 3 passes I ran essentially identical times in mile per hours. So I was happy to see that I improved. I was running a 2.560 foot initially. And then the last 3 passes, I finally got that down into the low 2s and finally a 1.9 on the final pass. So definitely an awesome, definitely made me very happy. Lucas, stage 2 from Kill Devil Diesel. Yeah, Kill Devil Diesel uses Colt cams. The Colt stage 2 is what's in my truck exactly. And I absolutely love it. It's a great upgrade. I've become a big fan of it. And I can't say enough good things about it. We're going to get to you, Ford for Life 73 there. I know I missed a question here. 2-wheel or 4-wheel? I was doing 4-wheel boosted launches on every pass. With the innovative Diesel Ultimate X Tune, you put it in tow haul, and that changes your shifting strategy and locks the converter up earlier. So that's how I ran every pass, which I was proud of myself for not forgetting, because last time I kept forgetting stuff. Gotta do dishes. See you in a little bit, bloke. We'll still probably be on here, man. So yeah, the truck looked good, especially at the lower launches. Like I was slow. That's all they were. I wasn't hooking up. The tires were fine. I didn't have the turbo spooled up enough to really push it. So very happy in regards to that. Then Greg, I'm not going to give Greg A hard time because I think Greg A is a pretty cool dude. I think it's the nature of the beast. We got to give other brands a hard time as far as going back and forth. But it's definitely, I was bummed to see it. I really wanted to race him, not because I even stand a chance, but just because it would be fun to race Greg A. Especially, I mean, it really would have been fun to race him there when he broke. I would have actually won by some external force. But it's definitely, he's a cool guy to talk to. I got to talk to him a little bit, and I'm hoping there's an event. Oh, Infamous, I missed this earlier. There's a New Jersey event, the 17th, for a dyno event I'm planning on going to. So November 17th. And may even, whoever JK is, nice to have you, man. Glad I popped up. That's awesome. Can't believe I'm popping up in people's feeds. But welcome to the channel. Ask any question you really want to, dude. That's basically what we got going on here. And I was drag racing this weekend, so we're talking about that a little bit. And I think someone asked, the cam definitely wakes the truck up. My stock turbo spooled instantly. There was zero lag, period, zero. So it got up and went. It was fun. It was really fun to drive around town. It really was. And the Power Max, I gotta tell you, I have no lag. I have very little lag. It's nothing noticeable. It's nothing more than it's hard to describe how it drives with that and like give a comparison, because it's not as much lag as there is from factory on the 10 blades, but it's not as fast as my original stock Charger was either. Now I had an 03 Charger that had the big exhaust housing or big exhaust blade anyway, but it there is a little more just because of the added rotating mass at the end of the wheel now, but it's incredibly minimal. It really is. It's not bad at all. I would love if Street Speed raced this truck. I'd be all over that with those big old tires of his. I forget how big his tires are, but they're huge. I'd love to see it. It'd just be cool to see that monster go down the track. Even if he didn't race anyone, it would be cool. Ford diesel, I'm running a stock Power Max. It has a cast wheel, nothing special. I am looking at some other options for that. I'd like to maybe upgrade a little bit. I have plans that I have a whole host of plans. Some of you guys that were talking to me at the call out kind of heard some of the plans that are in the works that I'm looking at doing in the next year. I mean, not that everything's going to take me long to, like, it's not going to take me a year to do this stuff, but just some of the future plans for this truck and another one. It's Amia. Yeah, I definitely remember you being at the end. You have a gorgeous truck. Your truck is awesome. Nice build. Definitely, obviously, a huge fan of the Kill Devil diesel cylinder heads. I advocate for them left and right. I think they're one of the best products out there for it. Ford for life. It is definitely nice to kind of give back what the Dodge guys throw at us. And typically we always have the transmission to rely on. We can always count on a Dodge transmission failing, even when it's apparently built. But I'm sure it's something goofy what's wrong with his truck, so we'll see. I'm excited to see, and I hope he has his truck up and running for he said he wasn't sure if he was going to this dyno event in New Jersey by his house. I have a feeling he'll have a hard time staying away since it's in his backyard. But I'm hopeful he's there. It'd be cool to see him and talk to him and see his truck on the dyno and what it does. Where is the dyno? It's like New Jersey Repair and Performance Shop or something like that. When I have more information, I'll post it up so you guys can see and join in. Check that out. If you're able to make it, it'd be awesome. Any of you guys that can come, please do. It'd be, like I said, it'd be awesome to see you guys. Greg. Yeah, I feel like Greg's a good guy, and if he could, he'd help somebody. And I think a lot of people, that's what's cool at that event. Like, everyone's helping each other if they can, if there's a part or if someone needs a hand wrench. And there were some guys that broke down, and people were, at one point they announced it overhead if anybody had a part. I don't know if that guy ever got their part, but it was announced, people trying to help out. So it was cool to see that. Obviously, I don't know of anybody that carries a spare Dodge transmission around, but that would have been kind of funny if somebody did have one to put in his truck. That would have been awesome. JK Excursion, 8-inch lift, 37s, 14.9. I feel like 14.9 in an Excursion on 37s is a killer time. That S2, I don't have a stage 2 manifold. I do have a stage 3 O-Dog, and it's absolutely out of this world. I recommend it. I would imagine his stage 2 is every bit as nice as his stage 3, and I would not hesitate to buy it. If you have to remain compliant with emission stuff, buy the stage 2. I don't think there's any issue with it. And like I said, I stand behind his product. It's a phenomenal one, and definitely love what he has. JK, take care, man. I'm jealous that you have tacos and I do not. So you, Jordan? Yeah. Everyone on the live stream said they don't care for you at all. I told them to calm down. That's my sister, but they said they can't stand you. That's a lot. Power Max with custom tunes for definitely is an awesome one. I have no issues with it at all. I am thinking I might try a billet wheel, and I definitely want to go for the final turbo that this truck sees. I want to go a little larger than a Power Max. Ford guy, lifters. This may be off topic since I just.
Jared, your followers love me.
Yes, Ford guy, I did replace my lifters at the same time. I bought the ones Kill Devil diesel cells. I recommend them. We didn't talk about it in this live feed, but don't ever worry about that. If you join mid live stream, don't worry if we've already talked about something. These live streams aren't really planned out well. So if you ask the same question someone else did, I don't mind at all re-answering it seriously. So don't ever worry about that. But I did replace them. It's with Kill Devil Diesel's OE replacement lifters. I have no issue with them. And I mean, I think everybody can attest that has seen the channel. I definitely use my truck, whether it's drag racing at the track or towing my fifth wheel. With this truck build, just to clarify, some people think that this truck build is all about making the most power I can. Absolutely not. It is all about making reliable power, having a fun truck that can work too. The goal of this truck is to tow. The second I lose towing ability, I have screwed up my build, and I need to get those parts off my truck. If it can't tow my fifth wheel, we're done. I need to go back. I do plan to build a drag truck in the future. That is a goal of mine, is to get a truck and really start getting competitive. I would love to have a regular cab Super Duty get down into like the 10s, maybe even 9s if things work. I think that'd be really cool. So I definitely would, I have plans for that, but this truck needs to tow my camper. I also just happen to like horsepower. So if I can have a tune where I have 550, 600 horsepower and turn around and put my power down to, 350 or 375 and tow my fifth wheel and do it great, then that's kind of my goal, somewhere in there. But the second I can't tow with my crew cab, then the build for that truck is done, and I'm going to fix whatever I just screwed up. So there's that. Now, like I said, obviously there's plans for a drag truck and to become competitive and tow it with my crew cab and make like a regular cab get down into the 9 seconds, I think would be awesome. Likes horsepower but has enough maturity to not street race. Not in the continental US, absolutely not, ever. Super Duty service intake. The Super Duty service intake. What I like what he did there is he came up with a really effective delete that you don't have to worry about leaks in 1,000 miles or 200 miles for some kits. I love what he does. I think Super Duty Service does a phenomenal job. He's making great videos. He's doing top-notch work, machining, the blocks. Everything goes back together perfect. That's hard to find that kind of quality. I think he's doing a great job out there. I think he's one of the guys that is the reason the Super Duty has a good reputation. Let me rephrase that. The reason the 6-liter has made a comeback as far as quality work or being able to be reliable. I think Anthony really has done a lot for that. I will say I wish he got a little more into the performance stuff, maybe more mild builds. I know he's pretty all about saying no. But he has his reasons for it too, and what he's doing works. And I think he has a point saying like, go buy. I believe in one of his videos, and don't quote me on this. I don't want to misconstrue his words. I believe one time he said, "You want to go fast? Go get a car." It's hard to argue with that logic, but I am into going fast a little bit in my truck, and I think it's kind of neat seeing something like that kind of go down the track quickly. So, but to take his level of work and put it into a souped up 6-liter, I think would be pretty darn cool. So kind of one of those things I respect his opinion wholeheartedly. Wish he got into performance stuff, says. What year 6-liter? I gotta tell you, I think there's good and bad with each year. I would say a late 04 and through the end of the production. Truthfully, my reasoning for that has more to do with the oil rail system than anything else. They got smaller turbos. They spool really quick, so that's kind of nice, but they're smaller turbos. The fuel pump, or not fuel pump. 1 second, it'll come to me. Oil pump. The high pressure oil pump is more reliable on them. They have the wavy style oil rails, which is a better design. You're able to hold ICP better. You get more oil available to the injectors. It gives you smoother overall running truck. So I would recommend a late 04, but truth be told, dude, if you found an early 04 or a late 03 for a killer price, don't hesitate, because you can relatively cheaply fix all the issues. Why is my sister texting me? What's wrong with her? I'm sorry, guys, I can't. Just a joke. She sent me off to read that later. But as I was saying, to the guys that say they got better as they got older, it's not necessarily true. They made some good changes, but to say that the 6-liter got increased in reliability is just flat garbage. For instance, the later style high pressure oil pumps, the SCT fitting blows off on them, leaves you stranded on the side of the road. There's a fix for that now that you can do, and I recommend doing. Even if the old owner said they did it, I would turn around and do it again, because they may have done it wrong, and it's just not worth being stuck on the side of the road. I know Anthony, watching Super Duty Service, he has had a ton lately of these SCT fittings blown off with messed up O-rings. It seems like every time he's working on a truck like that, he's posting a video like, got another one here. So they all have their quirks. The problem with when they changed all this stuff, they just made new corks for each model. So yeah, I wouldn't hesitate to truthfully buy any year 6-liter. I prefer the 05 through 07 body, like that front face, the upgraded interior, I think is nice. But if when it comes down to how much it costs, I wouldn't hesitate to buy an early one at all. Lucas, I thought he said that, but it's been so long. I didn't want to necessarily say he was putting in something he wasn't. So I'm glad. That's what I did think, though. Late 0360 has the biggest turbo. Side note. 04.5, they went slightly smaller on the exhaust side, put the 13 blade turbine in, and then in 05.5 they went to a smaller, like a 57 millimeter compressor wheel from the 59 of the earlier styles. I would definitely like to drink a beer with Anthony. He seems like a cool dude. Yeah, and that's what I mean. Like, just top-notch work out of that shop. I don't know of any other shop that's doing everything in-house like that, from machine work to, he has such control over the quality that leaves his shop. It's amazing, and he definitely stands behind it. Oh, that's a good point. Ford for Life brings up a good point. Better suspension and bigger brakes on the 05 through 07s. Now, you can do an axle swap like I'm going to, but now by the time that axle swap is all said and done, and that's me doing the work, I gotta say, I'm probably going to have, don't quote me on this, but it's probably going to be at least $200 to $2,500 with me installing it to go through that axle and put all new parts on, my new lift. And it's pain in the butt to an extent, but at the same time, I think it's worth it for what I want from my truck. Zach, thanks for coming in, man. Glad to hear that. Thanks for checking us out and listening. You ever have any questions, please don't hesitate to throw a comment or a question on any one of my videos. I appreciate the support as well. So, Bloke, here's what I want to say about the turbos. A lot of people don't really know what they're talking about. And better is a very subjective thing. What are you doing with your truck? If you're daily driving it, the 05s through 07s are a better turbo all day. Nobody can change my mind on that. They spool faster. Most people view this as a con. They're quieter though. If you're towing, again, the 05 through 07 turbo is a superior turbo. The 13-bladed exhaust turbine side is better for those functions. Are you wanting all-out performance? I'm just a lonesome hobo. Don't be so hard on yourself, Bob. Welcome to the live feed, brother. But it depends on the qualities you're looking for a turbo. There's compromises between the two. I personally don't care for the 05 through 07s, although I can admit that they daily drive very well. They spool up faster, and they're probably a better turbo for towing than what I currently use. But you can go to like something like a KC Stage 1.5. It's got the bigger PowerMax compressor wheel, but it also has the late 04. I believe it's the late 04. Please don't quote me on that. It might be the 05, the late 05 exhaust housing, but it has a 13-blade turbine wheel. So they do build boost, and truthfully, all the 6-liter powerstroke turbos will build boost pretty similar to one another, so you don't need to really worry about that. I'll get to that in a second. They're going to build boost pretty similar to it. I put a billet wheel in my stock turbo. I thought it worked well. Why I'm going to give a billet wheel on this one a shot probably. And then I'll probably start looking to go bigger after that. But I got to tell you, when most people ask me around my recommendations, the first thing I say is a PowerMax because it's cheap. Relatively speaking, when you start looking at other built turbos in its class, this is one thing I really, really like about KC Turbo. He does not make one of his turbos with his compressor housing with the GT 4088 style cover to be the same size as PowerMax. I like that he does that. He doesn't compete with it. He offers billet wheels for it, but he doesn't try to act like it's something that turbo is something it's not. Like Garrett PowerMax is a good quality turbo. I don't know why people hate on it so much, but it just is. Just like all of KC's turbos are quality. I have nothing bad to say about that company, but I kind of like that one. He offers a great price on it. It's like $11.50. I don't think you're going to beat $11.50 for that turbo. And then he has other turbos from there. So I recommend that. But if somebody said price not being an option, I'd probably recommend a KC 1.5 because it's going to give you added performance, but at the same time, it's going to help keep all those daily drivability features that everybody wants. And truth be told, the 05, the 13 blade still whistles like crazy. It really does. It might not be as much as the 03, but it still whistles. I don't see a problem with it. I personally prefer more of that all-out power. When I'm pulling a grade and my turbo is all spooled up, I want my AGTs to drop, and that's what happens in my current build. And I think if I went with the different exhaust turbine, or with the turbine side, I think I might not have the ability to keep my AGTs as low while towing. So that's good. You stay to the temps while towing. You're welcome for it, guy. I'm glad you like it. I'm glad it's helpful to you. Thanks for your guys' support. Anybody in the audience right now have a question or comment or anything they want to add? For those of you that haven't been with us the whole chat, we'll quick kind of talk about the drag racing from this weekend and what took place. I broke into the 13s, 13.627, so I'm pretty happy. I'm really happy about that. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna keep that part in the video when I'm all excited and yelling in my truck after getting my ticket. Truck guy Joe, who was behind me, said he could hear me yelling as he was getting his ticket, so he knew I hit 13s before ever even getting his slip. So that video, I'll probably do a little editing tonight. I don't know if I'll finish it tonight, but I'll probably get a little editing, and then I'll post an older video that I shot earlier this week that I never got out to you too. How do you build muscle mass, Jared? Bloke, is that a serious question or a joke? Because I'll answer it if it's serious. I love fitness too. I don't really talk about it on the channel because I need help. Most people don't really care about this. So guys, I'll keep this brief while giving some good advice to that power stroke bloke. So bloke, eat a ton of food first off, but eat good food. Eat a ton of chicken. Beef is good. Turkey. I eat a lot of chicken just because it's relatively cheap, all things considered, and I can eat a lot of it. And you want to be eating frequently throughout your day, like 5 smaller meals. And you're a young kid, so you guys got energy. Your metabolism's through the roof. Put in 3 to 4 workouts a week and prioritize your muscle groups. So like what I currently train is on Monday I do back and rear delts. Tuesday is chest, biceps, and forearms. I sometimes I typically will take Wednesday off. Thursday I do shoulders and triceps, and then Friday or Saturday I do legs. And keep your reps in the 10 to 12 rep range. Do slow, controlled movements. Focus on the muscle working. And I picked up my first weight at 12 years old. Josh helped me out. So just kind of take your time. It's a learning process. Athlean X is a good YouTube channel to watch and check out stuff. He just has a good channel. As far as checking out form and how to do exercises and what exercises to do, I would recommend him. And trying to think what magazines I used to read all the time. I used to read Flex and Muscular Development were the 2 I used to read a lot of. And for supplements, just take a simple protein shake. Optimum Nutrition, they have a 100% gold standard or something like that. It's a whey protein. Do a scoop after a workout or before, whichever you prefer, and you'll be good to go. And you'll start seeing some gains. And bloke, you can message me on Instagram if you have more questions, man. Definitely happy to help you. Fixing to chase some gains. Get it, bloke. I'm proud of you, man. Always happy to see somebody get into fitness, and it's done a lot for me. I've been really happy and blessed to have Josh, who taught me so much at a really young age that he kind of avoided me doing a lot of the dumb stuff kids do. So, Josh, I'll probably take this live feed down. So, Josh, if you see this before I take it down, thank you for everything you've done for me over the years. Josh says he watches all these, and he said I was kind of killing him there for a little with the hour-long live feeds. But they're fun to do as you guys come in and start talking and get me going and asking questions, so I love that. Any other truck-related stuff, channel-related stuff? Any questions about what's going on? I think I'm going to do the drag race video next. The video I release after that, I shot 3 days before or something like that, actually reveals my next mod for the truck, what I'm currently shopping for now. So stay tuned for that. And long story short, I stumbled onto another modification for the truck that I am going to be doing. I don't know when. Maybe Thursday, maybe next Tuesday. I have a lot of stuff going on right now that's keeping me very busy, but I definitely want to do a video of me doing some wrenching and getting some stuff done. So probably going to consider that here shortly as well. Within the next 2.5, 3 weeks, definitely before the end of November, it'll be done. Before the end of November, I should have 2 mods done to the truck. The one I stumbled onto, it's a long story, I'll explain later, and the one I'm currently shopping for. Bloke, the Harley Davidson headlights are killer. I think they're one of the best looking headlights on the market. They're simple and they look clean. Do you have the 05 headlights on your dad's truck? I know it's an earlier truck, but did you guys already put the 05 style in? Yes, sir. Okay, so it's a simple swap. Depending on how complex you want to get, you could look at it making it a little bit of a project, and it would be a little cheaper. You can paint that surround in there. People do that. They take apart the headlight. There's videos on that. And they actually paint the surround. I don't know how they prep the plastic, but there is that to consider. One thing with cheap headlights, and I am the king of cheap headlights, for the way. I am not talking bad about anybody and their headlight choice, because I have only bought cheap headlights ever for my trucks. Something to consider is that the protective coating they put on peels relatively easily and relatively soon. My headlights on my truck were not old. Josh was able to fix them up, make them look nice again, but it does happen. So that is something to consider. And I'm pretty certain even the Ford ones, if you were to go buy Ford OEM Harley headlights, if they're still available, I don't know if Ford still makes them or not, they're going to peel too. I have lots of concerns about my transmission. Those of you guys that don't know, I have a roughly 180,000 miles. I've been running bigger tires since 70,000 miles, and my odometer is like 180 right now. So I have probably mid 180,000 miles on the truck. Jay, I'll get to you in a second, brother. So the 6-liter 5R, especially the earlier years. So I have an early 04, so they were still getting rid of 4R parts in my transmission. Not a lot of people realize this, but my transmission to the 05s is different. And then the 05s to the 08 and through 10 has a few other small differences. I don't know what they are. I know that everybody knows about the filter and oil pan, but I'm not sure if there's a few other small ones in there as well. But the 5R is a really stout stock transmission. The problem is now I'm making somewhere around 550 horsepower. Don't hold me to that number. Ballparking it there, give or take 20 horsepower. Probably not give. Maybe take 20 horsepower. But the stock transmission is stout, and it's got over 180,000 miles on it, and it handled the abuse I threw at it like a champ. My fluid's good. I checked that, so I don't have that worry there. But it is putting up with my abuse very well. That being said, just being realistic with the transmission itself, it could give out at any moment. Now, I do believe typically 5Rs don't suffer catastrophic failures. I believe typically they start to slip. So if it starts to slip, I'll probably put it in a tow tune until I can get the built transmission I want. And I will be putting a built transmission in this truck. It needs it. But one, I haven't picked who I want to build it. And two, they're really crazy expensive. I mean, we're talking about a $5,000 to $6,000 modification for the truck. Yeah, Bloke, I'm going to Greg A it with my transmission. It's not a knock on Greg, for the record. I do really like him, and he's actually probably, truth be told, Greg A and Cletus McFarland are probably my two favorite YouTube channels right now. You guys all know I love Truck Guy Joe. Hammer Down Motorsports is another fun one. Hammer Down Motorsports and I did a video the other day. He didn't post it yet, but I believe he's going to try to edit that and just kind of goofing around in the Range Rover, which is a really cool freaking car, by the way. I personally, one, I don't have the money, and personally, probably even if I did, I wouldn't buy it. But it is a cool car that's pretty quick and seems like it's fun to drive. Back from there. So JK, Josh does have plans to potentially put an S2R in. We have not at the moment. He's also had plans about doing a S3R. Oh, excuse me. Just means I need a drink. That's all that is. So I'm not sure what Josh is doing there, but he has talked about it. Now, we do have plans for here in the near future, before it gets too cold, on doing some major work on Josh's truck and its front end suspension and making that happen. So that'll be a video in the near future. It needs done. So we'll see what happens there. I'm right with you, Miles. It's a man. Here's my take is as far as transmissions go, drop the pan, put an '08 filter in it and an '08 pan, refill with transmission fluid and call it a day. If I remember right, you're on stock injectors. Are you on a stock turbo? Even if you're not, if you're on stock injectors and you didn't throw a cam in it, you're probably not making crazy power. Not to say on a race tune you're not making good power, but you're not going to. You're most likely not going to blow your transmission at that power range, especially in a tow tune. Now towing can be hard on it, but and you're heavy. I forget. Did you say how much your camper weighs, Samia? I know your truck's ridiculously heavy for a 6-liter, but I would really like for the emails to stop notifying me. Yeah, the transmissions are freaking crazy expensive. So you're at 9,800. So let's call that 10. So you're around 22. So you're about 1,000 pounds heavier than my truck and camper setup. My camper's around 13. You figure the truck is like 7,500. So somewhere in there. Look, your truck weighs 9,800 pounds. That's freaking ridiculous aren't you a single rear crew cab long bed? Do you have a big old fuel tank in there? Because It's a Mia has like 90 gallons of fuel on board, like ready to go. 40 gallons. Did you put it on a scale, Bloke? It's a Mia and Bloke. Where did you guys weigh your trucks? So JU, the Excursion. That's not bad. I thought Excursions were heavier than that at the dump. All of you guys posted pretty reputable places. Bloke, I'm shocked yours is in the 9,800 range for not having dualies, because It's a Mia's got like 50 gallons of fuel on you and 2 tires and a bigger axle. I wonder what the difference is. That kind of has me puzzled. I'm probably thinking about it too hard, but I do want to know. Yeah, Jay, I'm shocked you're on, especially on 37s. It's a big freaking tire. Okay, that makes all right. Bloke, thank you for clearing that up. I was probably going to lose sleep over that tonight. 9,000 ish. He's 9,800. So okay, I'm cool with that. That makes so much more sense. I'm thinking like, how does he weigh 9,800 pounds? Okay. Sorry guys, I get caught up in the weight of these trucks sometimes, and I need to go weigh mine to find out where I'm at. Now I have a small fuel tank. Bloke just messing up the live feed right there. Almost threw us into a tangent. I can only imagine, of the 10 subscribers, at least 6 of them were Googling it, Bloke. 98 gallons of fuel. Yeah, everybody read Itsamia's carry. So 91 gallons of fuel plus 31 gallons of fuel. Crew cab long bed dually 4-wheel drive. He's got a lot of fuel on board. That 9,800 pounds that's fully ready to go, right? That's both tanks full, if I remember our conversation correctly. Stock Excursion 8500 with you in it. Huh. I really thought they were like 10 all day long. Truthfully. It's cool that they're not, but I really thought they were 10. So essentially the difference between an excursion and a crew cab is basically the same difference between a crew cab, short bed, and a regular cab. Roughly. I think regular cabs are typically around 6,500. Between 6 and 6,500, I think, is what they normally go unmodified. Look, I'm sorry for like, you just confused the crap out of me, and I was having a hard time focusing past that. Yeah, I'm shocked excursions are that light. I mean, not that 8,500 pounds is light by any stretch of the imagination, but I thought they were much heavier. What were you guys getting for fuel mileage in your excursions? R.I.P. John, by the way. Missed that excursion already. You just got it tinted not that long ago, too. That sucks. I mean, I'm glad everyone's okay. That freaking sucks. 0 miles per gallon. Go to the grocery store, stop at 2 gas stations before you come home. Honest, give me the honest number first, and then I want to hear what you'd like it to be. $12-ish for a stock excursion, and I don't think it's hateful around town. Wow, $7,000 to $8,000. What special thing are they doing for $7,000 to $8,000? That's really what I want to know, because that's high. Unless they're doing certain things. I was actually just I was hanging out with Greg at Diesel and Automotive the other day, and we were talking about this a little bit. It depends what shop is doing it. Jay, is that on your 37s? Super Zuki? Am I pronouncing that right? So Super Zuki, tell me first, am I pronouncing your name correctly? Second, are they literally just doing head studs, head gaskets, and an EGR delete? And I would want a quote for what they're charging you for the EGR delete. Because an EGR delete's too easy to do to pay a shop stupid money to pay it when you could do it yourself, turn around and have them stud it. Wow, 18 on 37s with that kind of weight. That's not bad, dude. I do think you can probably squeeze a little more out of it. You could probably hit 20 if you had the right tunes and the right overall setup and the truck was running well, meaning your fuel pump's doing its job, your injectors are doing theirs, your high pressure oil pump is doing theirs, all your sensors are in perfect working order. I don't know if a Fickum tune would help. People claim they do, but maybe like a 40 horsepower. That's on Innovative Diesel Extreme Street. I love Innovative Diesel for going fast tunes. Not talking bad about them at all. And I'm sure if I spent some more time and got them to tweak some stuff, I could probably squeeze even more. I could probably squeeze some of the things I don't like about it out of it. The problem I have with Innovative Diesel tuning is I have a hard time not going fast or getting up to speed quickly, I should say, because I'm not going fast. I just get to 35 miles an hour quickly, or highway speeds quickly. That's a big fuel pump. Excuse me. Yeah, Jay, that's a monster of a fuel pump. That's like if I had to guess, that probably supports like 900 to 1,000 horsepower on a 220 gallon per hour. Oh, you got room to grow, brother. Bloke, I won't go to bed for another couple hours yet. I feel like I missed something. Super Zuki, are you still in here, brother? I'd like to help you out because $7,000 to $8,000 seems salty, with the exception of a few things. For instance, if they're tearing your motor apart and you're getting new cam bearings, new main bearings, they're polishing the cam and stuff like that, and they're making sure everything's right. New lifters at $7,000 to $8,000. I'm not saying there aren't head stud jobs worth it. For instance, Super Duty Service. I don't know what he charges, but you're not going to get a head gasket job from him for $4,500. But he's taking that motor out of your truck. He's making sure your up pipes have vibrant flex bellows in them, that they're not going to fail again. He welds them on a motor, not a jig or anything. Nothing against people on jigs saying they can't do it right, but closer to 9 if you need new heads. So the going rate around here is about $4,500. That gets you a factory. That gets that your factory head. All that pays all the machine work to that, plus having it O-ringed, and that's roughly $4,500. And he's gonna and Greg. This is just what Greg does. I know he's gonna look into water pump. If he thinks you need a water pump, he's gonna be like, hey, spend the $178 or whatever it is to get a water pump. Don't quote me on that price either, guys. These are not official. But so let's take his price of $4,500, maybe no more than $5,000. You can turn around and bring him Kill Devil Diesel cylinder heads. He'll put them on your truck. And then you can buy your lifters from him too. You can get a whole package deal. So say you spend another $3,000 at Kill Devil and take it to somebody like Greg. And you're probably out the door at $7,000 with brand new cylinder heads, brand new lifters, upgraded push rods. You could be at $7,500 and have scratch that, because there's more work when you do a camshaft. So don't hold me to that. So you could spend $7,500 and have brand new cylinder heads from Kill Devil Diesel. I think his O-ringed ones, his iron O-rings are like $2,300. You can get lifters and push rods. That's probably not going to cost you but another $500. So from the original $4,500, you're going to subtract a little for machining costs, because you won't have that, because you'll already have stuff ready to rock and roll. LP, I'm not sure who you are, but I'm not letting your one message show on any of our live stuff, dude, or any of our comment section as a whole. We don't let like anything raunchy like that. So just if we could keep it to a appropriate level, please. So Super Zuki, if you were to look at that kind of stuff, I think he's a little on the expensive side. I'm not saying he's worth it. I would be. What I don't like about that is he's leaving a lot of things up to interpretation. So I'm not saying he's expensive. For when you just say head studs, gasket, and EGR delete, and he says he's going to check stuff. I don't know about. It's a very blanket statement. I would want clarification on what he's checking. Is he going to take the motor out? Are you getting new cam bearings? Is he going to reseal the whole bottom end and pull that all apart and give you new main bearings? Because then, okay, I can definitely see that price, and I don't think that's a bad price then. Especially if he's saying he'd give you new cylinder, you could get new cylinder heads for $9,000 on top of all that other stuff, you essentially have a rebuilt motor for $9,000 installed. Then it's not bad. I do recommend 9K is Canadian price. I do recommend O-rings. I would highly, highly, highly recommend O-rings. And I would talk to him about if he'd still give you a warranty with something like a Kill Devil diesel cylinder head, because they are best. I have a video on that. Check that out. I have 2 videos on it. Check out the one where I'm in this setting talking. Jay, I'll definitely get into that in a second. I'm shocked you guys can see it because my screen doesn't really show it very well. But yes, I will get into that in a second. Kill Devil Diesel makes a killer product. I highly, highly, highly recommend them. So just talk to him, but it's not worth it if he's not going to warranty that work with that. There are companies, I had a few shops I talked to that said, hey, we'll install it, but we can't, we don't use this product ever. And it's kind of a big part in this particular project. So if the shop is uncomfortable with it, either consider the shop's options for your truck or turn around and maybe find a shop that will. And again, I'm not talking poorly about whatever company you're choosing. For instance, there's a really well-known shop around me that said, hey, we'll install the Kill Devil heads, but we can't warranty that work because we don't use that product. They use powerstroke products for their stuff. So I am not familiar with powerstroke products at all. I know I worked with Kill Devil Diesel, phenomenal customer service and what all he did. So does that help, man? And again, I do recommend O-rings for their cheap insurance. Their normally machining cost is $400 to $500 to have both heads done. So, when you take your total and add it to that, but message me, either you can Facebook message me, Instagram message me, or leave a comment, get clarification on what he's doing. And I can hopefully better help you as far as deciding if that's a good place to go or not. He's asking a premium, but just because someone asks a premium doesn't mean they're not worth it at all. It just, I want to know more of what he's doing because he's high if it's literally just he's going to pull heads, put lifters in, update push rods or something, and slap factory heads back on that were checked at the shop. That's a premium price. But if he's going to start tearing stuff apart and really resealing stuff, then that's a whole other ballgame. Jay, watch the 6.0 piston taken out after a bulletproof by Bill with powerstroke diesel. I figure it can't really hurt to polish off a little extra fuel. Did he say that low fuel caused the piston to be damaged, or what happened there? I don't know if I completely understand what you're saying there. Jay, I'm going to answer F-150 Zach, and then we're going to get to the scar and what happened. F-150 Zach, think about if it's not studded. So what things to look out for with high mileage 6 liters is the bottom end is typically pretty stout, and you don't normally have to worry about that because they already have a bed plate girdle design, so it's a rigid block from the factory, which is awesome. Probably one of the few things done very, very well in the 6 liter because they wanted to turn higher RPM with it to make more power. But I'm not opposed to high mileage 6 liters because I'd rather just, when I bought my personal truck now, I would not have considered one under 100,000 miles. But for a truck that I plan to build, like if you want to build your 6 liter, I got to tell you, find the highest mileage 6 liter out there that has a nice body on it and nice interior. And if you could pick one up for $5,000, people want stupid money for 6 liters right now. That's half the problem is people are asking way too much. They have like 220,000 miles and they're like, I'll sell this stock motor and transmission for $20,000. Like, get out of here. Like, that's crazy to me. I bought my truck for $21,000 7 years ago with 73,000 miles on it. But I've seen posts for $15,000 to $17,000 for nothing that's crazy. or for like a stock truck that, you know, if you want to build it and it's high mileage, just get it for a good price. My Instagram is 6.0 bros, but there's an H after the 0. Here, I'll put it in the chat down here. Oh, that's wrong. Big deal. Second one is the correct Instagram account. Bloke, what are you saying? Oh, snap. Did I miss something? It's hard for me to spend more money on an engine than what I bought the truck for. I can hear that, man. That's what Bill said. But Jay, we're going to head back up to your question. What happened with my head? So when I was 17, I rolled an SUV several times across our road into a telephone pole. And we won't make this whole thing sad, but I spent a few days in the hospital, came back. I was working again, like within 7 days. But I did get a really crazy scar that actually comes back to here, kind of like a big C. So we won't make this. Oh, yeah. That. Thank you. Yeah, whatever. He stopped. That's all I care about. Truthfully, I hope he's in here hanging out with us. Just we don't do raunchy stuff here. You know, my niece reads this stuff and checks it out from time to time. I don't think she'll make it this far into a thing, but I want to keep a clean channel that provides an environment to help everybody. You know, some people say some nasty stuff, and I do let a lot of it go. But when certain people go too far, like we're gonna put a stop to it, get them out of here. We don't want that kind of attitude in here. That's what Bill said. He had a customer who had his Excursion bulletproof, trucking back in with a bad fuel pump, burned a hole in number 2. Huh. I'll have to look into that. I didn't know low fuel could burn a hole in a piston in these trucks, because I think I'm going to stop talking because it's getting to a realm I don't know. I'm going to look into that, though. Thanks for streaming on the channel. Hey, thanks, man. I really appreciate that. We do our best. If you have other questions, ask here. Truth be told, I think what happens when we start getting to like that 120, 150,000 mile mark, there are people that have issues that things get messed up. And you kind of get to that area where it's like, okay, head gaskets can go. Transmissions don't typically go. They're a pretty good transmission. What kind of care did they take of the truck? And you start getting into those previous owner problems. I'm really good about changing oil in my truck. My bearings looked awful when Greg tore them apart. Greg didn't even call me to say, hey, what do you think? I think we should replace these. He called me to say, hey, I ordered a part. We're waiting on it, which I trust him. He knew, he completely knew. I told him before, if there's something that's a terrible idea to put back on this truck, you let me know. And I think a bearing set's like $150. It's nothing salty at all. And there's no added labor in it because they were already out. Just wasted time. I wish I'd have thought that through and had that part ready for how far he was in, because it's a good idea if you have your crank out, just replace them for $150. Why not? Jay, what's a TBI in the Army? I'm not familiar with that term. And then I think we're probably gonna end this live feed here after in the next couple of minutes here. So if you guys got some questions you want to ask, get them in the description here. We'll answer them, and probably close up shop here. Try to get some editing done, get a video out to you guys tomorrow, hopefully, is my goal. Because how many days out am I? I think I'm almost a week out. Traumatic brain injury. Okay. I was very fortunate that I had very minimal injuries other than the scar. I had some injuries, but nothing that lasted long. So thank you for your service, JK. I really appreciate it because of people like you. You guys make America a great place that we get all these freedoms and everything. So I want to thank you for your service. Definitely all about I hate cell phones sometimes, guys. Definitely like supporting the men and women that serve the country. Good night, man. Bloke, you're in here. Good night. Super Zuki, if you're still here, who all's in the chat left here? I want to say bye, guys, whoever you are. And of course, if you guys have a question, pop it down there here. Probably end in the next minute. F-150 Zach, thanks for coming in. Zach Taylor, good to have you, man. Thank you. Ford Guy. John, shoot me a text, man. Let me know if I can help you out with any of the stuff we were talking about earlier. It's Amia. Good night. It was awesome seeing you. Thanks for coming by the truck and stopping and talking to me, and thank you for the video. I really do appreciate it very much. Super Zuki, like I said, hit me up if you have any questions. Happy to help you in any way I can. Just let me know. John, and also, thank God everyone's okay. I'm happy to hear that. And I'm going to check out the rest of your video actually right after this. Well, everything downloads off the GoPro from the weekend. JK's wife, thank you for subscribing. Appreciate it. If there's any 6.0 content you'd like to see, let us know here. Awesome. I got a husband and wife checking out the channel. Gotta love it. All right, guys. I think I'm going to call it a night. Always good. Thank you guys, everyone, for tuning in. Jay, again, thank you for your service to our country. God bless you guys. Thank you for everything. I'll see you guys in the next upload. I'm going to get to editing some stuff for you guys. So take care, everyone.